Hey team, welcome back to my podcast. Today I'm growing. I'm so excited to have you here. Today's episode is for everyone who wants more, who has goals, who has dreams, and together with you in this episode, but not just in this episode, but on this whole podcast, I want to find out what do we have to do to achieve all of our goals? What do we have to do every single day? What kind of routines do we have to implement into our daily life? And first, when I thought about this podcast episode, I was like, I want to talk about my exercise and workout routine. But while I was planning and writing down all the ideas and all the texts that I want to talk about and all the tips that I wanted to give you, I was like, you know what? That's not just for a workout or exercise routine. That's for every single routine in life, everything that I want to talk about. So I thought I make this the topic of today's podcast episode. I want to talk about daily routines that you should implement into your daily life if you want to grow, if you want more, if you want to achieve all your goals. So let's just straight jump into it. I really hope you get inspired. I hope at the end of this episode, you get a piece of paper and a pen and you write down your goals and step by step what you have to do, what kind of routines you have to implement in order to get where you want to go, in order to achieve your goals. So team, I'm going to explain to you step by step what you have to do to actually create a daily routine in different kind of areas of life. But first, I want to talk about routines, why I think it's important, why I think you should have daily routines. I want to talk about the kind of areas where I think I have implemented some are better, some are not that good routines. But the most important routine for me is my morning routine. I don't know what I would do and how in my eyes, successful I would be if I wouldn't have a morning routine. Like, I really think everyone should have a strong morning routine because it sets you up for success. So if you start into your day with some healthy and good and productive habits, then I guarantee you, like, the rest of your day will be so much more productive and so much more creative and so much more successful. Talking about morning routine, I quickly want to share with you what I do every single day. Like, I wake up and then the first thing that I do is I brush my teeth. Like, I need this fresh kind of feeling in my mouth. So I wake up, I brush my teeth. And then the first thing after that I do is I drink water. I drink half a liter to a liter of water every morning. And so I already make sure I stay hydrated, or I'm hydrated after sleeping for a couple of hours. Then I make my bed. And there is a book, this book I was reading years ago. It was about that every single millionaire, the first thing that they do after waking up is making their bed. And it really inspired me and it had an influence in me. And I was like, okay, I want to be successful, or at least I want to feel successful. So I implemented this into my morning routine. Every morning I make my bed. Then I have a little breakfast and then I do my morning movement. I have to move my body every single morning, because if I don't do it in the morning, then I feel like I start with work and then I end up working and being in my work zone. And then there is not much time to get some movement in or do my exercise or my workout of the day. So I really try just to tick it off in the morning. And then I have a shower and then I'm ready for the day. And this morning routine already makes me feel so powerful. It makes me feel like I made the right choices. And everything that I'm talking to you about today it's actually about making choices, and that it's always up to you what kind of choices you make. This is so important for me to mention now and to mention later as well. Like, it's all about your choices, team, and you can choose what kind of routines you implement into your life and what kind of morning routine you have. You can choose every single morning how you're going to start into your day. Next to the morning routine that I think is so important and is so powerful, other routines I think are really, really important is your health and wellness routine. So what I mean by talking about my health and wellness routine, to me, it's about moving my body, first of all, like my workout and exercise routine. And currently it looks like the following. So I'm following this 3-to-1 workout method, which means I do 3 home workouts every single week, 2 runs, and 1 stretching. So 1 stretching workout or 1 stretching class. And this workout routine, to me, I have it written down. I have it written down in my notebook. I have it written down on a piece of paper and it's hanging outside in my living room. But this always reminds me, okay, this is the routine that I want to follow every single week. I also like having this kind of plan. It really is also some sort of motivation. Like, for example, when I don't know what to do, when I don't know what my goal is, when I don't have a plan, when I don't know what to do, like it's really hard to stick to a routine, right? Especially when it comes to a workout and exercise routine. Like it's kind of easy to say, okay, I want to move my body every single day for like 30 minutes a day. But if I don't have a proper plan, if I don't know exactly what to do, it's really hard to stick to it. And this is not just for your workout routine. Like you really, for every single thing, if you have a goal, if you want to achieve it, you have to have some sort of plan. But yeah, that's my weekly schedule when it comes to my exercise and movement routine. I follow the 3-2-1 workout method. And then when it comes to the workout itself, every single day, I quickly want to share my workout routine with you, like the routine that I have around my workouts, because I had a conversation the other day about not being motivated when it comes to working out, being bored, or just being not excited about. And of course, I have those days as well. Like I have so many days where I just don't want to do it, where I don't want to do the work, where I don't want to get up and move my body. And that's why I have a workout routine or a pre-workout routine, something that gets me excited. And my pre-workout routine lately is like, I always listen to music. So I put on my headphones. My headphones, when I put them on, it's always like I'm in the zone moment. Do you know what I'm talking about? When you put your headphones in and you're like zoned out from the rest of your world. My phone it's with me, obviously, because I listen to music, but I'm still like, I'm offline. I'm not on WhatsApp. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on any kind of social media platform. I'm off and it's just my time and there's just me and music, and it gives me main character vibes and it gives me a zoned out vibe that I really, really like. So I have my headphones in, I grab a drink. Sometimes it's a pre-workout drink with a lot of energy and some protein maybe. It's a pre-workout drink that gets me into the right mood as well, especially when there is some sort of caffeine in, for example, then it also gives you some extra kind of energy. But if I don't want to drink a pre-workout drink, then I drink something else. Then I just drink something that's a little bit sweet. I don't know, just a drink with some ice cubes. It's like a little routine that I have, and that really, really works for me. And then I put on some workout clothes and that's it. And then I start with my workout. And I want to share that with you because this routine is so powerful to me, especially on the days when I'm not motivated. And especially on those days, I think it's so important to have those kind of routines because they remind you of things that you just have to do sometimes. And by saying that, it's like, sometimes we just have to do the work. And sometimes it's really, really hard to actually just do the work because it's easy to make a plan and it's easy to write everything that you want down. But after that, it's up to you. Like you have to get up and you have to get the work done. And it's not always fun. It's not always exciting. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it's dirty. Sometimes it's boring, or very often it's boring. But sometimes you just have to get up and you have to actually get the work done. So, well, this is my workout routine every single week, and the thing that I do before my workout that actually gets me into the zone, that gets me motivated and excited. What other kind of health routines do I have? Let me think. I think something that I don't do every single day and not every single week is like meal prepping, but it's a good example. I mean, if it helps you with your current life and with your current lifestyle, it could also be a really strong health routine, especially when it comes to food and nutrition, like a little bit of meal prepping. If you feel like it's really hard for you to stick to healthy eating and you don't really have time, you don't really have the opportunity in the office to cook healthy meals, or you don't have access to healthy meals when you go to the office, then meal prepping can be a really great routine. Maybe you can do it weekly. Maybe you can do it every second day. I don't know, whatever works best for you. This could be a great example of how to implement like a healthy eating routine into your every single day life. I said before, you have to find what works for you, like with the meal prepping, but also for the workouts, like with every single thing. That's something I want to mention right now. team, you really have to find something that works for you. So if I share my workout routine right now, and if I share the 3-2-1 workout method and it works for me, that doesn't mean that it necessarily works for you. We all are so different, and it's so important to mention that. There are 2 more areas in life where I think it's really important to have a strong daily routine. And the first of those 2 is having a strong work and career routine. So I think we all are here because we want to be successful when it comes to our work and career life. And having strong routines there is essential. I don't know if it's okay to say that, but if you want to be better and if you want to do better, if you want to do greater things than the average. So my kind of work routine, how does it look like? I quickly want to share with you as a content creator how my weekly schedule looks like, because I also know a lot of you are interested in. So I have a lot of different kind of platforms right now. So I have a lot of different projects, a lot of different tasks. And I try to squeeze in everything that I can from Monday till Friday, which is not always working, but I try. So Monday every week right now is about business, meetings, calls. So I try to squeeze in all the calls and meetings on Monday. Like from morning till evening, I try to do the business things. I also try to focus on finance things. If there's anything to do, I try to pay bills that I have to pay or invoices, receipts that I have to pay. So that's happening on Monday. Then on Tuesday, usually I'm trying to focus on YouTube. So I'm trying to focus on my YouTube workouts, planning, filming, editing, uploading. Wednesday is always my podcast day. So I'm planning podcast episodes. I'm doing research. I'm writing down what I want to talk about. I'm recording like right now. So Wednesday is always my podcast day. What about Thursday? Oh, it's always my short form content day. So I try to film and plan and edit as much as I can when it comes to short form content. And Friday usually is my vlog day. So this is kind of like the structure and the routine that I have every single week when it comes to my work. You know what I want to talk about right now is that having routines is really important. That's what I said now a couple of times. But first of all, we're all just humans. So things going wrong and life is happening sometimes, even though we want that it happens a little bit different. So I want to make sure that you all understand that having routines is really important and you should try as hard as you can to stick to them. But sometimes it's not possible, especially, for example, when I talk about my work routine right now, like sometimes, or no, not sometimes, like really, really often there are things coming in like spontaneously, like you have to go to this event or you have to do this right now. So I have to move around my podcast day, which is absolutely okay, which is absolutely fine. But I also want to mention that you also have to learn to be cool with it. And you have to learn to not freak out because you can't stick to your routine. That also reminds me of when I started my fitness journey, when I started with my workout plans, when I really tried to stick to it no matter what. But sometimes, yeah, there was like a friend having birthday and she has like a birthday party. I mean, back then I would skip the birthday party because I wanted to stick to my workout routine. But now I think a bit different. I don't know if it's a good example with the friend and her birthday party. No, it is. Like relationships and your friendships today, I think, is really, really important. And you should try to still be flexible and you should still try to find the balance between working hard and sticking to your routines and having the fun time and having the balance and having, time for relationships and friendships and all those kind of things. Like it's really about finding the balance. But anyways, I just want you to understand that having routines is important, but it's also important to be flexible and to allow life to happen. And you are not a robot, you are not a machine, and it's okay. Life happens and you don't have to do everything perfect. To end this work routine topic, I told you a little bit about my weekly schedule, about my weekly routine, how it looks like. And then when it comes to work, maybe this kind of routine inspires you to try it out if it's really, really hard for you to focus. And trust me, or believe me when I say, for me, it's so hard to focus. I do a lot of home office. I do a lot of work from home. So I really, really have to understand how to be focused, because working from home, it has so many benefits. Oh my God, I absolutely love it. But at being at home also has some disadvantages. Like there's always something else to do, if you know what I mean. Like it's always easy to get distracted by, I can clean the kitchen, I can vacuum here and there a tiny little bit in between. Like it's so easy to get distracted. So it's really important to find focus and to have a strong routine that brings you into this focus zone. What helps me to find focus is, again, music. It's really rare. Like, again, it's for me, it's really putting in the headphones, listen to some music, just it's really calm music, like compared to my workout routine, which is really intense and like really motivating. My work music is more like chilled and relaxed and like finding focus, but it really, really helps me. So this is what I do. I also always have like my drink of choice with me. So either it's coffee or water and coffee most of the time. But I really get into the zone again. And this makes sure like I stay productive and I'm in the zone. The last area of life routine that I want to talk about, and I think it's especially important to talk about this after the work and business routine, I call it the disconnect from work routine. And this is something for me that I'm still working on. As you know, I talked about it so many times that for me it's really, really hard to find balance. Balance in all areas of life. I'm more of like an extreme person, or in the past I always had been the black or white thinker. I always had been the going extreme instead of going balanced. So it's really something that I also have to work on, and I want to work on with you together. But you know what? If you want to stick to a routine, to a sustainable routine for the rest of your life or for the next years, I don't know, like for a really, really long time, and that's what you have to do if you have a big goal, like it's not going to happen that you achieve that goal in one day. So then it's really about finding the balance between working hard and resting hard and doing other things. And especially when it comes to fitness or work, like in the beginning, we put in all the hard work until to a point where a lot of us lose the joy and lose the spark and lose the motivation. And that is so normal. So let me just tell you, if you started, for example, your fitness journey and you had this incredible motivation at the beginning and you went all in and it was successful for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, you were pumped, but you kind of, after a few weeks, you lost it. Like that's so normal. Let me just share with you, it's so normal for everyone, for someone who's just beginning and starting out, but also later, like for everyone, it's really hard. It gets to a point where it's not fun anymore. And then you really have to find the sweet spot between, okay, should I still push myself right now? Should I work hard? Or is it time for resting hard right now? And that's also what I want to say with this disconnect from work area of life. When you, especially when you're self-employed like me, like it's so easy to keep working all the time and to forget about other things in life. Like I could work every single day, 24/7. There's always something to do. And if I'm done with something, I come up with another idea or I come up with another project. There's always something that I could do. But if you do that, and you can try it, you probably gonna burn out. You lose the joy, you lose the spark, and you can't stick to your routine anymore because it just gets too much because you're out of balance. That's why it's so important to find a disconnect from work routine. Find something that you can do outside of work. In the last couple of months, I've tried a few things. Like I've tried a few new routines. Like for example, every single Saturday or every single Sunday, I try to do something new. On Sunday, I have found this new kind of hobby. I'm just walking through flea markets and it's so much fun. Flea markets, oh my God, I love them. And it must be, I don't know, like in my memories, because when I was young, when I was a little kid, we always went to flea markets. So this kind of turned into a little hobby. Or on Saturdays, I challenged myself to just try new things. And one time I wanted to go to a pottery class. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but I got a puzzle and I started to puzzle instead. So just try new hobbies. That could be a routine itself. Like every single Saturday, you want to try something new. And this trying something new, don't underestimate it, because it really helps you to learn new things, to look outside of the box, to step out of your comfort zone. It can really help. It can really help you to learn new things and to grow. One more thing to add to this topic. I think when it comes to disconnecting from work, especially on that day or in the moment, it can be really powerful to also have a little routine there. Like when it's 5 p.m. and you really want to end your workday at 5 p.m., I mean, sometimes it's just not possible because there's a deadline and you have to finish. But let's say 90% of the time, or maybe even more, let's say 95% of the time, you want to end your work at 5 p.m. because it's okay to also stop working at one point. So let's say you want to stop at 5 p.m. You could have a little routine of like, okay, you close the laptop, you disconnect, you are not available anymore for colleagues, for your boss, for, I don't know, for the company that you work for. So at 5 p.m., you close your laptop, you start to clean up. If you haven't done all the tasks that you wanted to do, you could write them down and you could start tomorrow, the following day, with the tasks that you couldn't finish. So find a little routine there. I cannot really share a routine with you, but now when I think about it, that's something that I want to do. Like I want to disconnect from work a little bit smoother than I do right now, because I also talked to you about home office. So I work from home. It's even more important, I think, especially when you work from home, to have a strong disconnect from work routine, because it's all in your home. You are anyways at home. So it's easy to mix your private life a little bit too much with your business life. So make sure to have a disconnect routine. Close your laptop, clean up. And yeah, if you couldn't finish, that's another tip. Write down the tasks for the next day. I quickly want to repeat the areas of life that we were talking about right now. So you can write them down. You can grab a piece of paper right now. You can grab a pen and you can write those areas of life down to find routines there, to find routines that work for you. And I guarantee they will help you. They will help you, in all those areas of life. So the first one was having a strong morning routine. Like write it down and set up a morning routine for yourself that works with your life, with your partner, with your kids, if you have kids. Set up a strong morning routine. The second one was a health and wellness routine, like a health and fitness routine. How can you implement more exercise, more workouts into your life? The third one was your work routine, like when it comes to business, career, and the work that you do. And last but not least, the disconnect from work routine. Like what can you do for yourself? What can you do to find a little bit more balance in life? Before, I'm going to share with you a little step-by-step guide on how you can create daily routines that you can actually stick to, like sustainable routines that also actually work. I quickly want to talk about failing, because that's part of it. Like you will fail. I can already tell you will fail. You will set up your routines and you will start really motivated, but you will fail at one point. Either it gets boring and you can't stick to it, or some sort of things happening. For example, you get injured. Like how do you want to stick to your workout routine when you get injured? Or I don't know, you have to move, or suddenly you're pregnant, you get a kid. I don't know, like so many different kind of things can happen that can have an impact on those routines that you set up for yourself. So you have to be flexible. And I already want to prepare you that there will be things happening and you will fail at one point, and that's okay. All I want to say here is that it's okay. And failing is part of life. It's part of the process. And failing is actually not something that's bad. Like, why do we always think that failing makes us like, I don't know, a failure? Because that's not true. You have to fail. You have to fail over and over again. And can I give you one example really quick? Because maybe you have seen it already on my social media channels. I met Will Smith yesterday or 2 days ago. No, 2 days ago, I met Will Smith. And from the outside, I can imagine you see it and you're like, whoa, she met Will Smith. That's so crazy. She must be, I don't know, so successful that she has achieved that, because I got also so many DMs were like, oh my God, this is so cool. You deserve this so much. Thank you so much, by the way, for all these cute DMs. But I want to share this with you because let me tell you, before we met Will Smith on that day, there were so many other days where I really, really, really tried my best. I tried my best to meet famous people like Jennifer Lawrence. And I was so close to Jennifer Lawrence. And I remember myself almost crying at this event. I talked to the manager and I was like, please let me talk to her. Please let me just film a video with her. I want this so bad. I think this is so cool for my community. And we all would love that so much. But it didn't happen. And I failed. I failed so many times. There had been other moments at these events where I really, really tried hard, but it never worked out. So now you see the one time when it actually worked out, when we had the crazy opportunity to meet Will Smith. But it's not that I was coming there and I was like, hey, I'm Anna, can I meet Will Smith? Like, nobody cares. So it was really a lot of hard work and a lot of trying, a lot of networking, a lot of going to events beforehand, and a lot of failing over and over again until I finally met a crazy famous person like Will Smith. So I just want to give you a little bit of like background insights. But I just also want to share with you that failing is okay. Like, don't be mad at yourself. Don't feel bad. I fail so many times. Oh my God. Like, I fail with every single thing that I start, that I do. I fail and fail and fail over and over again until it finally worked. So failing is okay if you just don't give up. Like, giving up for me, that's failing. That's the real meaning of failing. If you give up, if you're like, okay, I tried, it didn't work, I give up. And that's also not okay here. Like, if you're listening to this podcast and you give up on something, like, no, we don't give up. You can change plans. You can change things if you don't enjoy it. If you think, you tried it and it's not the right thing for you. But if you really feel it inside, if you really feel like this is what you want to do, this is what you want to achieve, this is your biggest dream and your biggest goal, then you can do it if you don't give up. All right, we've almost made it to the end of this podcast episode, and I want to give you a little step-by-step guide how you can actually set yourself up with those routines, how you can create those strong routines that work for you. Remember, we all are different, so I can share my routines with you here, yes, but what works for me might work for you, but maybe it doesn't. I just want to give you some inspiration, get inspiration out of it, but if you can't work out in the morning, if working out in the evening works better for you, that's also fine. Okay, you do you. You find what works best for you. One process is always the same though for all of us. Before we start to implement any kind of routines, we all have to write down what our goals are. So many of my podcast episodes start with that. Like, it always is the step one. Write down what your goals are. Write it down. This is so important. And I'm sitting here again in front of my vision board, and vision boards are so powerful. Like, it's in front of me right now and I'm here in my bedroom. So it's actually the first thing that I see when I wake up in the morning. But just that it's here and just that it's in front of me and reminding me every single day what I want. Like, it's so powerful. So write it down. Writing it down is the best thing for me. You can think about it, yes, but write it down. Have it visually somewhere around you because it reminds you of what you really want. Sometimes it's so easy to get distracted and to move away from your path and from your goals because so many outside noises are coming in, right? Like, so many people tell you what they want from you and then you forget what you actually want. So write it down and always remind yourself of what you really want. This is really important. It has to be written down somewhere. Otherwise, it's not powerful enough. And once you have defined your goal or your goals, figure out how to get there. Have a plan. You have to have a plan in all areas of life. You have to have a little plan. And I told you, yes, sometimes life happens and it's not possible to stick to that plan, but you have to have a plan, like a rough plan that you can stick to. And let's take as an example, like your fitness thing, like you want to be stronger. If you want to be stronger, like you have to have a proper workout plan on how to get stronger. You have to lift weights. How many times do you have to lift weights? And you have to have a realistic plan because a bodybuilder who is not doing anything else except training and working out, like he can I don't know, he can train 4 hours in the gym every single day. But maybe that's not realistic for you because you have a full-time job and you have to work and you actually don't even want to compete on stage. So it doesn't make sense to do the exact same workout plan that this bodybuilder is doing. So you have to find a plan that works for you, that is realistic for you. Super important. So have a plan and also write down your plan. Oh my God, I'm such a writer. Like I love to write things down. I mean, maybe for you it works better if you write it down on your phone, but I always write it down with, like a pen. I write it down into my journal or a notebook or on a piece of paper, wherever. Like I'm a writer, and as soon as I write it down, it works. Then I'm actually sticking to it and I'm going to do it. I really, really hope you are in the right mode right now and write down what you want, write down how you could set up yourself with strong routines, what kind of routines you could do. Write it down. I really hope you're inspired right now and motivated to do that. And then I cannot wait to read from you. Like, I really cannot wait if you send me a DM and you're like, hey, Anna, I wrote down my goals. Text me on Instagram, growingannanas. I would love to read from you. Like that you wrote down your goals and then you're actually inspired and motivated after listening to this podcast episode. I really hope it helped you. I had a lot of fun today talking about my routines and talking about routines in general, daily routines. And one more time, daily routines are so freaking important. They help you to be more creative. They help you to be more disciplined and to be more organized and to just feel better in general in all areas of life. All right. Okay, team, this was today's episode. I really, really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you are inspired and motivated right now to grab a pen and grab a piece of paper and write down your goals and write down all the steps that you have to do to achieve those goals. What kind of routines do you have to set up for yourself? And also, please, if you do that, text me on Instagram, text me on my profile, Growing Ananas. Text me what kind of goals you wrote down. If you feel motivated, if you feel inspired, just text me. Text me feedback about the podcast episodes, about this podcast episode and specifically. Let me know what kind of other topics you want to talk about. I'm so excited to read from you. And I'll just thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate every single one of you listening here and growing here with me. It means the world to me. Seeing you growing just is everything that I want. It makes me so happy. It makes me want to wake up every single morning and do what I do. So thank you so much for believing in yourself and for just growing. Thank you so much, team. Thank you. And I talk to you soon. Bye.